Oh, wow, Kevin, I really like that mug. It looks like mine. Did
Wait
we
a
get a
second,
mug from
Mike.
Mike?
Today in the mail via Amazon, left on my stoop, like Santa Claus style. I had a brown paper bag, and I got my own Remark mug, everybody!
One of us.
Welcome to the team.
And then I had another package, and I was like, here comes my t-shirt. But no, it was just something my wife ordered. So.
Oh, that's okay. Well,
Better
someday.
luck next time.
Thank you guys for having me for the very first Remark Hallmark. Is that what you call it?
We really haven't like split our branding.
Still just Remark. We sometimes will say countdown to Christmas, but since that's Hallmark's thing, it's kind of like, well, that's what we're watching. So, but yes, Mike, we are so honored to have you here. So thanks.
You. And thanks for using our mug. What's in your mug? We always like to talk about what's in our mugs.
Oh, it's just water that is colored the color of beer.
Cue music.
Cue the transition!
It's been a long, exhausting day. Your troubles just won't go away. One thing that gets you through these is watching cheesy holiday movies. You think that you're above them, but you know that you love them. So get ready to listen. Now here comes Kevin and Kristin. Oh yeah.
And live transition. That's why I'm here, everybody, for the transitions and the slides.
Beautiful.
You're here
More
for
than
much
that.
more
More
than
than
Much
that.
more than that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up, Remarkers? I am one of your hosts, Kevin Reagan. With
I
me
am.
is-
Oh yes, thank you, Kevin. I am one of the other hosts, Kristen Finger, and please welcome to the Remark family,
Let me go off.
Mike
Oh,
Gregorek.
Wow, thank you. I could only leave as far as my wire for my headphones would allow. Hey, Kevin and Kristen, thanks so much for having me. This is my first weekend ever watching any Hallmark holiday movie. You forced me to watch the Thanksgiving one a few weeks back, but I went 4 for 5 this week, so
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
There was no Thanksgiving. Are
We
you
made
talking
him
about-
watch Roadhouse Romance. It
That
was
was
like back in
Valentine's
September.
Day.
Wasn't it Harvest Festival?
It was Harvest. Yes, it was
What?
Harvest, but that's not
Got
Thanksgiving.
it. So not.
Different.
So there we go. Then officially first holiday weekend.
Yeah. Hallmark
Yes.
uses a different calendar.
It was nice to bring Mike in to watch his first Christmas movie about Hanukkah.
I am representing as best as I can with some blue and white to kick things off.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, I have my Happy Holidays, and Chris, we should have done an alternate with blue and white.
It's okay. It's okay. Is it? I don't know. But Kevin, yeah, check out our sweet swag.
You can get these shirts, and if I had thought of it, I would have made a slide for that for Mike to throw up, but I can't. So just search Bonfire Remark. Maybe you'll find it.
You'll find it. It's called Remark the Show. That's the campaign it's under.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
So, folks, we had 4 movies this weekend. 5, kinda, but we'll talk about that. 4 movies that we actually watched. The first one being The 8 Gifts of Hanukkah, which came out on Friday night, which would have been, if I'm not mistaken, can I do my math real fast? The 6th night of Hanukkah?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
I believe that is right. This starred, and again, as always, Kevin will butcher names, but this stars Inbar Levy as Sarah, Jake Epstein as Daniel. I'm going faster than you are, Mike.
Oh, I didn't know what. There we go. Okay, here's yeah.
Jake Epstein is Daniel, and with him, this is perfect. With him is David Kay playing Jacob, and the reason it's perfect is I feel that there are a couple of tropes that were carried over from last year's Love, Light, and Hanukkah. One of them being a brother who is best friends with a guy who does not have parents or really a family, so he's latched onto that family and falls in love with a girl. That's very similar. So much so, they decided, let's cast the exact same actor as the brother, and here we have...
I think it's a helpful continuity sort of situation that Hallmark is helping the Christian viewers understand that there is only one Jewish brother that connects them all.
Yeah, so again, we talk about the multiverse of Hallmark, and within that multiverse, there is only one brother. He no longer is running the restaurant. He now has a daughter and is suddenly divorced. It's very weird.
It's very weird. But this picture is adorable. We'll talk about them shortly.
Well, and having no context on any Hallmark movies ever, I don't know. I'm meeting all of these actors for the first time, so I'm getting a fresh take on them. And I thought he was excellent as some of the best scenes I think were between the two of them. Or some of the most fun scenes, and I was like, these guys have done this before, I bet. And Kevin and Chris are going to tell me exactly what other movies they've been in when we film
It's weird though, because there is this bizarre. Again, we love to talk about the B, C, D, E, Fs, and G subplots that go deep into Hallmark films. And this one, part of the subplot is Jacob here, who is Sarah's brother, has a daughter who plays absolutely zero. There is no point to her being in this film whatsoever. And even if there were, here we go, there she is there. That's her grandmother holding her arm there, making sure she doesn't steal one of those apples while they're taking a picture. There was really, you didn't need to do it. And I really thought the woman in the red dress or the red coat there is Sarah's partner at the optometry office. And I thought the two of them were going to get together. And I was like, nice. No, they did not do that.
No, didn't bother. Too many, we already had subplot, everything. Because I will admit, okay, all right, here we go. This woman is stunning, okay?
Yeah, Mike, can you go back to her in the blue dress?
Wow.
Yeah, she is a very, very...
She is just, and like googly eyes. So... the thing that I was like, this is so unbelievable, was because I've never been this gorgeous in my life. So all of these dudes, there were like 4 dudes after her at the same time. And I was like, that'll never happen. But then I was like, oh, Kristin, you've been you your whole life. Of course, that's never happened. I'm not...
Yeah, and I actually really enjoyed sort of the looks that they put on her, if that makes any sense, the costumes. I thought she had like a nice, like down to earth, she wasn't just always gussied up like this, you know what I mean? But she was always beautiful, like just indifferent when she was a doctor, when she was at the coffee shop, when she was in her blue dress, which I know that there's a game when you watch other Mark, anytime the lead ends up in a red dress. So funny that they obviously for Hanukkah they did the switcheroo with the blue.
I asked our dear friend Allie Sewell, who celebrates Hanukkah, I said, listen, if you go to a Hanukkah ball, do you have to wear a blue dress? And she said, absolutely. And she sent me a picture of herself in a blue, just like beat up sweatshirt and was like, see, don't I look good?
So listen, it's very important that we point out that I too contacted our dear friend Allie. You can tell that we are uneducated Gentiles. And but my thing was, there were so many menorahs that were in this movie that I thought, is that normal? I just assumed it would maybe be one, perhaps a second. But I mean, I just stopped counting because I think I got up to about 9. And Allie did tell me that is not uncommon, that they may have menorahs for each person. You may also have them from loved ones who have passed, which we will get to that in a moment and talk about a very important loved one who has passed.
Oh, no.
But what we have happening in this film, as Chris said, Sarah is out of a relationship. She had dated a fellow named Paul for quite a while. Didn't work out, 2 years, I believe they said. Yeah, Paul's a dud. He is a...
Boo, Paul.
Boo, Paul.
I'm sure the actor is fine, but he did a great job with the character.
Right, he did a great job of being like the hated guy.
What if he was supposed to be likable and Paul was just crap? I found it interesting, though. So she goes on her date, like her speed date in the very beginning of the movie, and I thought there was some good bits in there, especially one of the last speed dates she goes on is a dude dressed as Santa, and she turns around and leaves.
She just left.
Yeah.
And if I walked into a coffee shop and I saw someone dressed as Santa, and I was like, oh, are they my date? I think I may have still gone up, but the fact that he was like, ho, 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 man, I would have been like, I'm out.
Listen, let's not forget John Wayne Gacy used to dress up as Santa Claus. So you turn around and you leave in that situation. There is no, it doesn't matter what denomination you are.
Yeah.
If you're on a date and your date is with Santa and it's not actually Santa, which guess what? It's not actually Santa. You leave.
We have a time-honored tradition in New York City that everybody hates, in which many people from New Jersey come through the bridges and tunnels for what is called SantaCon and drink until they are puking on the sidewalk. So there are some people that probably were on dates with Santas, but I can promise you it's never ended well. So yeah, I agree.
I hated that day as someone that worked at the Gap on 34th Street, right across from the Macy's. I think they were supposed to go by the Macy's.
Yeah.
And oh my God, just walking to the subway, you stepped over piles of barf.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember the movie Night Before, Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Anthony Mackie. Joseph Gordon-Levitt encounters the guys who are dressed as Santa, and I think it's Rob Hubel and I forget who the other person is, and he gets accosted. So it's
they're rough, man. Rough Santas.
Yeah. So she does end up having 4 different suitors that are I guess technically 2 suitors. We have Nigel, who was a Welsh chef, so that's nice. That's something special. And then was it not? Oh, Chris, please. Then you give us, because I thought he was fine.
I hated him. I was like, oh, we're supposed to hate this guy too. Like, I didn't hate him, but I didn't. He didn't get my motor running, and his accent did nothing for me because
it's
normally
Welsh.
accents do, but I think, the damn Welsh. I don't know.
Oh my God, guys, I'm so sorry that Kristin is crashing the Welsh on this episode.
I thought he was like second of 4. You know what I mean? Like after clearly the lead. You know, I think he was there as sort of the this is the obvious choice, right? He's rich, like he's like handsome. He's got a cool accent, like she should, type of thing. I don't think we were supposed to hate him vehemently.
No, I don't. All right,
but he also didn't do much. Like he like took her out to he did some basic dates. He did some basic dates. He was super nice at the end when they brought. He could have been more of a douche about like breaking up at the end. He was super like gentlemanly.
But even that, he came in and saved the day because they had their food menu fell through, and he came in and was like, I'll do it. And it was very similar to that character. If you saw Gingerbread Miracle, also a chef, that guy was had a French name, but he wasn't French. I know, Mike, we'll talk about the fact that you've watched none of these over and over, but very similar, which kind of leads me to this, because then we also had the other fellow we had was not Jacob.
Tom? There was a Tom.
Jacob.
Adam. Yes, it was Adam. Yep. And he was the tech guy, which goes to show you that Hallmark, as always, only thinks there are 4 careers. We had Jeff, we had the tech guy, Daniel was doing construction, and Paul was a lawyer. So that's literally. Yep. No doctors other than her. She was an optometrist.
Yeah, exactly. She
and
was
her
the
parents
doctor.
were both doctors. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So.
Adam was supposed to be like a hot guy too. I really got it. My hot guy radar is they're all lovely, good-looking people, but I'm going to say that the moment the dude that plays Daniel came out and was like doing his construction and was just like this jokey dude, I was like, oh, I love him.
Yeah.
So like I just
Yep.
and like I knew him. I was like, why isn't she dating him? Oh, duh, Kristin. Like, look at him. What a dork. I love him.
Yeah. And he was great. He was funny and goofy and weird. Yeah. And we find out that he does not have the family because his parents. I'm trying to remember his story because there was a lot of death this weekend, and they all
they divorced, and then he didn't for some
they fought. I think his parents fought, so he went to live with his grandmother, Bubby Rose. But unfortunately, Bubby Rose is no longer with us. Mike?
No longer with us.
Troy, dead Bubby Rose warning. Dead Bubby Rose warning.
Poor Bubby Rose. So
Bubby Rose.
we do have a Bubby Rose or a dead Nana alert. There she is. Sorry, Nan.
Poor dead Bubby Nana.
But it was weird because Daniel had as close a relationship, if not closer, than Sarah did with her own actual biological grandmother.
Yeah.
So then our movie starts, and suddenly, on the first night of Hanukkah, a gift is left on the porch.
Ooh.
Sarah. Guys, I tried to recall, just using my brains, what all the gifts were, and I cannot. Can you help me? I have most of them.
Roses was the first one.
The first night was white roses, yes.
Then
Second
chocolates.
night was chocolates. What was the third night?
The watch.
Frame.
No,
Frame.
it was late.
Frame.
Frame.
Okay. Then the watch.
Watch.
Okay. That's all I have until the end.
Music box.
Music
Because he
box.
didn't finish.
Music box. I forgot about that. Was it
7?
What was 6? 6. Music box was
The
5.
glass. Oh yeah, 7 was the glasses.
Glasses.
that was 7, right? And then 8 was a promise ring that belonged to Bobby Rose, but we don't know what that 6th one was. If you know what that 6th one was, you can email us.
Or put it in the comments.
No. Oh, it was a menorah.
Ah, the menorah. You mentioned all the menorahs.
That's right. Of course. And
We did it. Bang, bang, bang. We won.
Oh, sorry.
Don't email us.
Congratulations.
We figured it out. Keep your emails to yourself. But no, seriously, email us at remarktheshow@gmail.com or put whatever you want into these comments.
But Kevin, so here's the thing. Usually these types of movies that involve mystery are over on the Hallmark Movie and Mystery channel. Like the Christmas Ring last year, we had to search whose ring it was, blah, blah, blah. And he's sort of searching for clues. What does Sherlock say? He's cluing for clues. What does he say? Anyway, Benedict Cumberbatch.
I was gonna ask you both what because we did going into this. Kevin and Kristen both very polite. We're like, Mike, you don't have to watch all of them. Just do your best to get through as many as you can this week. And I said, so at first I was like, all right, I'm gonna skip the movies and mysteries. That seems like the bootleg channel or something like that, like the ones that aren't as good as the Hallmark channel. So I was gonna ask you what the difference actually was. I did wind up watching the 4 we're gonna talk about today, but I was curious about this movies and mysteries channel.
I will say the movies and mysteries are always my mom's favorite, without a doubt.
Funny.
I don't tend to watch them because of timing.
Yeah. And
then those are the ones when I talk to her on the phone, she'll be like, did you see, what have you? And I'm like, call Kristin, Mom. Call Kristin.
Yeah, I'll talk to her. Because last year, my second favorite, Delivered by Christmas, was on the Mysteries channel, and that was one of the best ones.
Yeah.
So I really don't understand their reasoning. Maybe it's stars, maybe it's...
I don't know.
I really don't know.
Part of me thinks it has to do with how they... I mean, obviously there is a mystery factor, because the movie we're going to talk about later has zero mystery to it at all, and last year Shannon and Aubrey explored greatly how things didn't have mysteries.
I'd like to put a... I think I have a mystery for when we get there.
Oh, good. About it.
Yeah.
So overall, though, naughty or nice? Not naughty or nice, because I feel such a Christmassy thing to do for 8 Gifts of Hanukkah. What do we want to say? Oh God, I don't have any clever bits to call it. Thumbs up, thumbs down. We'll just...
Naughty or nice is okay. I mean, it's still, a yay or nay?
Yay or nay. Let's do a yay or nay. Sure. Yay or nay on the 8 Gifts of Hanukkah? I say yay.
I say yay.
I'm gonna go with yay as well. For fun fact, everyone who watches them live, I actually watch these a little bit out of order. So I started with Very Merry Bridesmaid just to get my feet wet, and then came back to 8 Nights of Hanukkah.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say right now, without spoiling, is I really enjoyed this one. In comparison, that's spoiled.
Oh,
I like this one better.
But you might find that the thumb doesn't actually go down.
I'm gonna rank each weekend. Yeah.
It's funny you say that because 2 weeks ago, it was more now. The week before Thanksgiving, 2 weeks before Thanksgiving was an excellent weekend, and Chris and I talked greatly about it. I bet you I can remember every movie because they were so good. And then the week before Thanksgiving was like a dumping ground of garbage. Where they were like, we need
never this. No one ever has to speak of those again.
No.
But Kevin, I have an important question.
Yes.
Who would Kristin play in this movie? Because there is a clear winner, at least in my heart.
Is there? Are you going to say Jimmy, his apprentice?
No.
I like him. That was the guy. That dude was from time for us last year's to come back home for Christmas.
Think of usually I like to play, the quirky whoever, but I also like to play the not so nice person. So I would have loved to have played the woman that was just disgruntled at every board meeting and was just not happy about it.
I was actually a little disappointed at the end that we didn't get like a third part of the joke with her, because we had 2 complaints, like one at the meeting, one, oh my gosh, we lost our chef. I was hoping for some third thing at the actual dance, but she never appeared ever again. Which I also discovered seems to be a thing with these movies, that there are some things they set up, they set, and then they're gone. They're
100% left on the cutting room floor, because that scene probably was shot and they were like, forget it.
Yeah, and with the kiss.
Yeah.
So then we move on to Saturday night. And Mike's very first Hallmark holiday film that he actually watched, which was A Very Merry Bridesmaid, Saturday at 8 o'clock. This stars, and you can get that, get your finger ready, Michael. This had Emily Osment in it.
Sorry, I'm still reacting to get my finger ready. I apologize. There you go, Emily Osment.
Casey Dietrich.
Ooh.
And I think that's all we put as the cast. Is that correct?
No, we've got the bride. I don't know if you're getting it on the bride.
Oh, Julia. Actually. Yeah. Well, so go. You can go to the movie, or you can keep Julia up for a moment. But this is a film where we see the character Leah Taylor, and Drew there in that photo. Leah is about to have her oh, you know what? I have the synopsis. Why am I not reading these like a fool? Why should I use my brain power when I could just say Leah's 30th birthday is on Christmas Eve, the same day as her brother's wedding. Her childhood crush is back in town for the wedding, and he is determined to make sure her birthday does not go by the wayside.
Oh, man.
Yes.
But it's called A Very Merry Bridesmaid.
Yep.
I didn't like the title. I didn't like the title. I thought the movie was great, and I know you're going to explain more about the movie. The title threw me off throughout the entire film. I don't know why. I think I was excited to see the first one, and it was a bad title for what I thought was a fine movie. It was
a fine movie.
Yeah.
The thing that I did like, switch your hat, please. The thing that I did enjoy, I think a lot about this movie, again, was actually the brother and this guy's relationship. I might just like these for all the bromances that happen.
Very good point.
It was very sweet. And so this guy, what's his name? Lucas?
The actor or the character? That's it's Drew is the character here.
Drew.
I forget what the brother's name was.
So Drew grew up across the street for a reason. There was also a Nana in this one.
So this was a Nana as well, not a Bubby Rose. But his parents were the ones who fought all the time. And they didn't know why. He went to live with he ended up going to live with his Nana, who also was very influential towards Leah, because she sees that picture of hers when she was 30, and she says, 30 is a milestone birthday.
Honestly, Kevin, once again, all of these movies are a little bit the same this weekend, and I think that's how they choose where they go. Is like people that love Dead Nanas, let's put it this weekend.
This was Dead Nana weekend.
Let's tread Dead Nana alert, everybody! It is time for another Dead Nana alert.
Nana's gonna live forever. Hey, listen, if your Nana is still out there, give her a call. Say hi to Nana, for crying out loud. While you're watching YouTube, watch this video first. Also, like this video and subscribe. And then call your Nana and say, hey, Nan, thanks for that $5 bill you sent me for my birthday.
My grandma is turning 98 January 6th.
I love it.
Amazing.
Yeah. Call her, Kristin. Call her.
Hello?
Not right now, Kristin. We're literally doing the show. Nana, I'll call you back. This one was weird because Julia is the bride-to-be. And it felt like they were trying to almost make her a quasi-bridezilla.
Bridezilla?
Like, all of her complaints were legitimate, and I was 100% on her side, and she was sweet about it.
She actually wasn't upset enough, I don't think, about the dress. I mean, come on. If you lost your wedding dress on the way,
Yeah.
First of all, I don't have a slide for this, but her mom and dad are both dead. So we got dead parent alert here.
I got a dead mom. I got a dead mom there.
Her mom loved Christmas Eve. Mike, I should just supply you with tons of them so you're just ready no matter what.
We need a sound effects board eventually too. That next time, everybody. Right now, I just have an and a bell.
No, you will need a sound effect because next week we have a Godwink film. It is very important.
All right,
that sound effect. Kristin, don't blink. We don't have the sound effect. So the airline lost her luggage, which had her dress. They lost her dress and they lost all her bridesmaids' gifts. Also, she wanted to get married at the house she grew up in, and which is a little bit more of a all right. They tried to buy the house when it was on the market, and somebody else outbid them, and whatever. And it's like, okay, but I mean that's life. Of course, that sale falls through, and then our groomsman here, whose name I don't remember, is like, I'm gonna surprise my wife and buy a house. Okay, it was her childhood home. That's cool. But holy crap, guys, that is a really, really weird and risky thing to do without talking to the person whose bank account is now tied to you.
Yeah, but I 100%, and immediately when it was said, I'm like, this is insane, this guy's crazy, and then it turns out, and I have like a fast travel alert, I think, for these four of like the travel times that things take going back and forth between Salt Lake City and the town, things like that, but the house was 5 minutes down the road. It's very, very easy to get someone to go 5 minutes down the road. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. I don't even mean moving the wedding. That's all well and good, but the fact that like she might have been I wanted to get married at this house. I didn't want to live there.
I didn't want to live in this house.
And which bedroom are you going to? The master bedroom that your mom and dad, they did.
Well, that's like when Jim bought Pam his parents' house.
Yes.
Like it's weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird. I will say her dress also was like specially made by some designer that her mom liked, and she like made trips to London to go get it. But even with that said, I, by halfway through the movie, was a little over her, just like repeatedly saying, I mean, is it too much to ask for my wedding day to be what I want it to be? And I was like, you know what? I'd rather you be a bridezilla about this than like this, like, nice, like,
Kristin, I don't think you're gonna like who I picked you to be in this movie.
No.
No.
I didn't know this was a game. I'm excited.
Yeah, I didn't send you the opening for that. We have been doing it in the past couple weeks. But the other thing, which I really liked, because again, this is something that's been happening more and more, just to normalize in Hallmark, and I like it, is that Sarah, it's the last film, that Leah has her girlfriend from high school and then her wife, so another gay couple who got married. This one, though, similar to the last movie where you have this girl who's kind of unnecessary, they have twins that they talk about, which they never show up. There's no point to having said that they have twins, other than it's like, well, we really want to say that they also have a family, and it's like, okay.
Who has twins? Who has twins?
The gay couple.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, they were
mentioned once or twice. Yeah. But it was nice. Again, it's nice that they are normalizing that, and hopefully, in some of these groups that Kristin gets kicked out of on Facebook, we will finally get some of these blue hairs that just come together with the times of 2021.
Yeah, but Kevin, they're tired of diversity being thrown in their face.
Well, then, for them, they get the sexy gazebo.
Maybe. Sexy gazebo. Maybe some of those blue hairs should become dead nanas.
They're gone now. Like, there's no ability. That just happens to all of us.
Yep.
I do want to do this, though, and I think you have it in there, Mike. There should be a photo of the two of them sitting on a bench in the snow, because I will say, there it is. Yeah, they became a very cozy couple very quickly, and I liked it. Like, they had a nice relationship, but it's another thing that I kind of want them to break from Hallmark is we don't need it to get to the last 7 minutes, and it's like, will they or won't they? It's fine if the whole time we're like, We know they're going to. They're already, look how close they are already. Like
They did that in the last one too, when they went to Bubby's, also a bench. Was this the same movie? Did we watch the same movie?
And also the sister swap. There's like this like subtle, like very obvious flirtation where you like, and I'm like, either draw it out or just let it be very obvious. But the in between is where it gets annoying.
Also, I will note that this picture of this guy gets my motors revving. Like,
is it the beanie? You like that beanie?
Good.
I like that beanie. I like his casual hoodie popping out of it. Oh.
Now, I know it's a maroon beanie he's wearing, but it's almost red, and she's wearing blue. Mike, they're stealing your bit.
They are. They stole my bit. I will tweet them.
Overall, thumbs up, thumbs down, thoughts?
What? I did like it. I did. What I think I would, because I watched this back to back.
Yeah.
I watched it literally after I watched the 8 Gifts of Hanukkah, so I was literally like, this is the same movie.
Yeah.
But I will give it a thumbs up. I will give it a thumbs up because this guy can get it.
I liked her. I thought she was good. I liked their relationship. Yeah. So this guy can get it. You're absolutely right. But I also liked that they kind of skirted around the 16 candles bit of everyone forgot the birthday, and then they do the big thing at the end where everyone did.
Well, that's it. I mean, I know we're not H3Oing, but like from the moment he saw her, he was like, "Oh, it's your birthday on this wedding. Are you okay?" And I was like, "Oh, I love you so much."
His little like moments with her were very adorable. They were not cheesy. They felt. This was my very first Hallmark movie. Everybody, Hallmark holiday movie. This one broke it for me, and I thought that starting off the weekend, I had this at a solid like 75%. You know what I mean? Like a 7 out of 10.
That's good.
Yeah, I thought I was.
Mike, you never forget your first.
I know. I just, I wasn't sure what to expect. I've heard mixed reviews. I've reached out on social media to have my friends and family help me through this, and even there, I got some mixed, fun reactions. And I thought the acting was like really well done in this. What did it follow a format that I was predicting? 100%, but that's what I was expecting. So I put this like only it started to drop because then I really enjoyed 8 Nights of Hanukkah. I think a little bit better.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I
also thought the snow work was impressive in this one. I wrote down
snow work. It was wet snow.
Yeah, there's sometimes
snow.
there's weak snow work, but I thought the snow work in this was very good.
Hang in there, Mike. You're gonna get some real garbagey snow.
Exactly.
This one seemed like it was legit. If it wasn't, they did an excellent job.
Exactly.
With it, so.
Yeah. I might frame this picture of him and Photoshop me in it. He's really cute.
I think you should, and we should post that. We'll post that one.
I'll do it.
Next one? Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah.
Do we move on? Then we moved on. Saturday night, still at 10 o'clock on the Movies and Mysteries channel, we had our Christmas Journey.
Ooh.
This was a little bit different. So we
Very
had
different.
I hate this description. I was going to rewrite it, but this is the description Hallmark had, so let's use it.
Okay.
A single mom and her teenage son with autism come to a crossroad during Christmas. Lena, which I actually added, must learn to let go. So Marcus, which I also added, like they had no names, can flourish as she finds her own heart healing in unexpected ways. Okay, I get it. I guess. So very quickly, Holly Robinson Pete plays Lena. There you go. Mike's fingers doing the work. Lyric Bent plays Rick.
Ooh.
I freaking love this guy. Like this guy. Oh my god, he is in my like Paul Campbell camp.
Oh wow!
I loved him. I'm going to stuff for this guy.
Save it for the last bit, Kevin. Save it for the last bit.
I'm ready for the last bit. Nick Sanchez plays Marcus. Nick Sanchez
That's not Nick. Here's Nick over here.
There he is.
On right there.
Yep.
Nick is autistic, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then in that same photo is Lily Johansson. And the reason I wanted to definitely isolate her here is this is her very first film, and I thought she was excellent.
It was very
She was wonderful.
I've been loving, I would say overall really quick, the kids, for the most part, really like sweet. You know what I mean? You never know where you're gonna get some kid actors, and there were some mixed bags. But
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
everyone did a nice job. Nice job.
Yeah.
You didn't watch the movie with the demon kid, so that's
Oh, yeah, Azrael.
Kevin still has nightmares of this kid.
Mike, you just have to
done.
follow the career of Azrael Dahlman. The kid is amazing.
All right.
And then Aloma Wright is the grandmother who plays Robin. She, if you recognize her, because it was driving me batty, she was the nurse in Scrubs. And she was amazing.
Interesting. Nice.
It was also driving me nuts, so I had to look her up so I would be able to continue watching the film.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, oh.
I was like, I've seen her. It must be a Hallmark movie. That's what it's got to be. And her delivery, and I was just like, who is? And then I looked it up and I was like, oh my god, of course. She's everybody's grandmom. Also, doesn't die. So,
she's alive the whole movie.
Whole movie makes it to the end. Call your grandmoms. Call your grandmoms. So this film, Marcus is autistic. The film is basically about Lena has homeschooled him. He's 16 years old. Rick and Lena are divorced, and Rick has gotten him into this very exclusive school where he would go live, and it would really prepare him for his next step in life. And Lena obviously is very apprehensive. This project, Holly Robinson Pete had been talking about since before last year. She has a son who is autistic. She has twins, which is awesome because they did this in the film too. And I actually thought it was her daughter.
That was very sweet.
Yeah, it was not her daughter, but she has a daughter and a son. She's married to ex-Eagle quarterback. Let me say that again for you, Mike Gregorek, fan of New York Times.
I got nothing.
Ex-Eagle quarterback Rodney Pete. And they have 4 kids. One of their kids is autistic. She is very, very, very involved. Both of them are, and they actually have a organization, a foundation.
That's awesome.
To raise money for autism awareness and whatnot, and different studies.
Yeah, they put that slide up at the end of the movie to have folks donate, which is really lovely. So we can share that on our socials, so you guys can donate for the Christmas time.
Yes, absolutely. So it's an interesting film. It is the divorced couple. We've seen another divorced couple in a POC film this year. They got back together, which, okay, I like when couples get back together because I'm a romantic, but I'm also a realist. And I always go back to Mrs. Doubtfire when they do not get back together and how important that is.
Yeah.
In reality, and especially for kids, where it's like, that rarely happens. When things go sideways, they tend to go sideways.
That was my biggest reaction, Kevin, to this movie, was how unfair it could be to a child that is living in that kind of situation, to see this sort of fantasized, like, glorified, it's one film, don't get me wrong. And I'm sure it does happen, but I was actually more appreciative of some of the plots where divorced couples got together as a new couple. I feel like that is more realistic than divorced couples getting back together.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gad. What'd you love, Kev? Oh, I was just...
No.
I loved...
now for a word from our sponsor. No.
I loved the daughter storyline, actually.
That was the better story.
So the fact that she said, I think at one point, to that really cute boy that also lived at, like, the inn, when she said, like, she always feels second. I just love that we got to see... She doesn't not want to put her brother first, but she doesn't want to feel second. And I really thought that was such a cool point to sort of do. And just as someone that does have autistic folks in my family, like, knowing that we need to make special accommodations for those kids in our lives doesn't exclude any of the other kids that are in our, so that was that. I liked that they had that, and that she had that connection with that other kid, who was like, have you ever told them that? And I love that this, like, essentially 13, 14-year-old sophisticated boy was like, you need to tell your mom that. And I was like, bro.
And she does, and it's a beautiful conversation, in which case, Lena, her mother, tries to not stop her, but say, if you feel that way, and she goes, Mom, let me say this. And then very politely, and she says it, but she speaks the truth, and that's so important. And like me as a parent, it's something that she'll be 8 years old in a couple days, and I still do that where like I want to solve the problem, but it's like I can't. The reality is I can't always solve the problem, but you have to listen. You have to be there to listen to the problem. I love that scene. It was one of my favorite scenes of all the films, the entire movie. It was a gorgeous scene.
I will say a completely unnecessary plot in this movie was that the lady's mom had died, and that then grandma got to make wreaths.
Dead mom alert! Everybody gets a dead mom alert.
But I was like, that is as unnecessary as mentioning that the one couple had twins. Like it just didn't matter because there was this really weird edit that I think someone took their lunch and left like that on and they were like, oh, well, Randy left it, just put it in there.
As an editor, we take our lunches and we go, whatever that was is just fine.
The mom was hanging that like the Christmas star on the tree and her son walks in. They said nothing and it was in between. It was unnecessary.
So I have a theory about that. And it's very confusing because again, when we watch these, obviously I take a lot of the information from Hallmark, but I also go to IMDb, which generally gets all of its stuff fed from Hallmark. And the problem I have with this film is if you look up Our Christmas Journey, you can't find a whole lot of information.
No.
But you can see that every one of these people is in another movie together called The Christmas Bond. Oh. And then I realized it's because this movie was originally called The Christmas Bond, which kind of makes sense because all these different people bond. You have Robin's grandmother bonds with this woman that Kristen's talking about because her mother had died, so they have a daughter-mother relationship. You do have the reconnection of a couple who have since divorced, so they rebond, and then you have the daughter, Maya, I believe her name is, with Henry. Can you bring that picture of Henry up, Mike?
the wood one.
Oh,
this was one of my favorite blurry images. It's one of my favorite blurry images you sent me this week, Kevin. Here it is.
Look at Henry.
Yeah, the second he walked in, Maya's there and she's very pretty, and he makes that face, and I turned to my wife and go, he has wood. Like that's what
Kevin, you just got spicy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, a little spicy.
No, but this kid was literally like a 55-year-old stuck in this like 12-year-old, 13-year-old's body. Like he was such an old soul, and I loved him so much.
Right. Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned, Kevin, sort of all the backstory behind it. Like, it's a personal story for the lead actor. You know what I mean? It was originally titled something different because that's what it felt like. It felt like they were trying to have a sweet message, right, about parenting kids with autism, or, you know, like how to handle a family, especially around the holidays with these things. And it just, there was like too much shoved on it, I think, from like like we have to fit the mold of like Hallmark movie. And that's what made it uncomfortably awkward for me at times, like especially the play at the end. And
oh god.
First of all, we don't even know what
play. Was that a play?
It was 2 nights the night before Christmas. And then it ends in the middle, and I'm like, what happens?
I literally wrote the shortest play of all time? ? Like,
Oh, it just, you know, and listen, I'm happy that it was a personal goal of, and I'm sorry for blanking on, what was the lead actor's name?
Holly Robinson Peete.
Holly Robinson, yeah. To tell this story, I think that's super sweet and super adorable, but there just felt like there was, whoever the writers that took it over just tried to force these things in. And I as someone who's personally worked with autistic kids and kids on the spectrum, not in a unique environment like this of like everyone, you know, it's a special program for them, but in an open environment of creativity, this just felt like such a, this is all these kids can do type thing, and we don't have a lot of time in this movie, so let's just get the point across that isn't this sweet? And I don't know, it felt a little, I was like, ooh, a little bit.
It was because I did love the innkeeper's daughter, who also went to the school.
Totally.
When asked who she was in the play, was like, oh, I'm the star. And when she first said that, I thought she was literally playing like the Star of David or something, or she was playing, but no, she legit meant the star of the play, which is even cooler, and I love her.
And
but again, all she did was just sleep and then wake up and stand up on stage.
Well, there was even a line where they were like, "Oh, he's the he steals the show." You know what I mean? And again, whatever, you know. But listen, we're in Hallmark movie land. I get that you're trying to be real, but also, but like, there wasn't anything that happened.
No.
You know what I mean, to
No.
give any of these kids an opportunity to steal the show,
Right.
except for the narrator guy who just hammed it up. Other than that,
Yeah, he was the teacher, so it was like,
oh,
you
that's
know,
right. That's right.
no,
Yeah, just-
terrible.
I think there was something odd again. Back to the editing room.
Yeah.
Randy, who was editing this, which I don't know, I just made that person up.
Randy.
Really loved to linger on a shot past its moment
Yeah.
because almost every single end of a scene was like us having to watch the daughter just like wait for them to say and cut. Like we had to wait, like it lingered, and it made it seem less than even a Hallmark movie. But like it made the pacing weird, and it made it kind of like soap opera-y where they like hold on to someone at the end. Yeah, it was very strange.
I really felt like the commercials in this one, which is not good. I noticed when they were happening because of that, I think, and then maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was just like awkward, and then the commercials came up, which is always funny on Hallmark because it seems like wait, is this part of the movie or is this for the next week's
Right.
thing? And I was like so confused on the commercial breaks. I was like, oh yeah, we're done, and then we came back. It was a super soft like entrance into the next scene as well.
Well, I've done that too because they started doing, I think they just started doing it this year where they don't even say a sneak peek at blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
They just start a scene
like those.
from next week's or tomorrow night's movie. And I'm like, wait, who are these people? Wait a minute. And then
Wait, in a minute, we can talk about that in
Yeah.
Twister Swap, because that was even more confusing because they were advertising the next one. I was
same.
like, what the hell is happening?
We got
So
incepted.
overall, our Christmas journey, thumbs up, thumbs down? I'm not going to give it a thumbs down. I'm all right with it as a thumbs up. Kristen knows I am madly in love with Holly Robinson Pete, and we're going to be talking about Lyric later, so it's a thumbs up for me. Go ahead, Kristen, be the monster that you are.
Listen, if Randy would let me get in there and re-edit this baby, I'd give it a thumbs up. But as is, based off of editing and some
Randy's
of
part of it.
Hallmark's,
Names in the credits. That's right. That's fair.
Hallmark's like rewriting of this story that didn't, like Mike is saying, it. We didn't need to put the Hallmark hat on top of every single
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, you've got so many movies coming out. Like, let this one be its own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, don't
would've
do
been
that,
quite
Mike.
special.
I can't wait.
I
There
know.
are 8 more movies, and Mike's going to be like, what the hell?
But this felt like totally like an opportunity to tell a different type of story. You know what I mean? And my movies and mysteries that I alluded to from earlier of like what the
What's the
mystery.
mystery?
My mystery was, is Marcus even in this movie? Was my mystery because they set him up. And listen, there might be something, and I forgive me, but maybe like you could only shoot a certain amount of days, or you know what I mean, or it was taxing to film. And kudos to the actor for being there. I don't know his history, but I'm assuming it's an actual autistic kid that played the role.
Yeah.
Great, perfect. But oh my gosh, like you set up this potentially beautiful story about all these relationships, and how everyone's handling, and then he's gone for like a 2/3 of the movie, and then they come back, and it was all about them the whole time, and that was my biggest sort of disappointment in it. As I would have loved to see him at this program, and what they and how the teacher and how this girl that he like struck up a friendship with, besides the sort of like outside perspective, I would have loved to see both. So I give it a million. I don't think it wasn't bad. I wasn't like, oh, this, I
Right,
can't
I'm like
watch
a-
this.
Middle. I do middle. Middle's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, middle.
Yeah.
I will say this real fast too, Mike. One of the things that you're going to start to find is that Hallmark is the king of divide and conquer, where no matter who is in the plot line, they have to be pushed apart so that the couple can get together, whoever that couple is. And you'll see it in Sister Swap 2, which is our next film to speak of, which was on Sunday at 8 o'clock. This was back on Hallmark proper, as we call it.
Hallmark proper. No mystery here. Well, there was a little bit of a mystery.
No mystery. This was Sister Swap, a hometown holiday. Listen, you can tell this was their baby of the weekend. Listen to this description. Let me get a drink first. Here we go.
Yeah, this is probably like 4 paragraphs long.
Oh, goodness.
Jennifer and Meg Swift are sisters who couldn't be closer despite living hours apart. Jennifer is in Salt Lake City running a successful restaurant she started with her late husband and raising her teenage son, Simon. A little syntax issue, but whatever. Meg stayed in their hometown of Hazelwood, helping their parents run the local bakery. This Christmas is the family's first since the passing of Uncle Dave, who owned the town beloved theater, the Madison, where many memories were made over the holidays.
Truth.
When Jennifer and Simon return home for the holiday, they become wistful for one more Christmas at the Madison, despite that it is for sale and in need of repairs. Meanwhile, Meg is helping Jennifer's restaurant staff in Salt Lake prepare for a Christmas competition among local restaurants, and the winner earns money for a charity of its choice. The sisters switching cities leading up to the holiday, they find a new sense of purpose and discover what they both truly need in life and love.
Is the pop quiz now or is it later? Because I took notes.
Oh my god, that was a long one. Yeah, I apologize. That is seriously what they had written, and I was like, why do they put this teeny little bleep for a movie like a guy meets up with his ex-girlfriend and that's our plot? And then this one, they're like, oh, here's 6 pages of the script. So this stars the Williams sisters.
Woo!
We have
the famous Williams sisters.
Famous Williams sisters.
Kimberly William Paisley from Father of the Bride.
Father
if you
Bride.
do-
Father Bride.
Ashley Williams, who I love. Then we have Mark Eklund. We have Keith Robinson. However, he's barely in this film. We'll talk about that at the end. And then we have, I'm going to do it right up front, the character Kristen Finger would play, Susan Yeagley, which is the, I don't think you have a picture of that one.
It better be Barb. It's Barb, right?
It's 100% Barb.
Okay, good. Okay.
100% Barb. Yes.
The moment she showed up, I was like, me.
Yeah. Definitely. This one had an awful lot going on, but the
Like how you emphasized awful.
Yeah.
no, I actually don't think it was awful, but
don't think so.
it is important to bring up the inciting incident that makes this all happen.
You know.
Is Kevin Nealon.
Oh god.
Kevin Nealon, there he is.
There he is.
Plays the character who is no longer with us, Uncle Dave.
And Uncle Dave is dead, everybody! Which
I'm not gonna lie
dead
to you,
Uncle Dave alert.
I thought Kevin Nealon, the human, was already dead.
Come
So-
on!
Oh,
I'm not kidding.
rude.
When he showed up in this movie, I was like, oh, that can't be him.
We already lost Norm Macdonald this year. Let's not take
I
out
mixed
all
the two of
weekend.
them up. That's my bad.
What's funny
Listen.
about Uncle Dave is he's got a Hanukkah menorah and he's wearing a little blue and white, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just noticed that. Anyway.
Also, I literally wrote confused. Who's dead? Uncle Dave? A dad? The other lady's husband? Like, I was so confused as to who Uncle Dave was for
I don't
about
know why, Kristen.
3 hours of the movie.
If you forgot at any given minute, they reminded you Uncle Dave died at least every single commercial
But
break.
I couldn't tell because at least a half hour into the movie, I thought Uncle Dave was a brother of the sisters and not a brother of the mother.
Listen, I agree with you, Chris, in that it was slightly confusing until I realized it was Kevin Nealon, because they opened with that video, like old school video montage or whatever, and didn't really connect the dot. You see, they just like bum rushed into the movie, and like literally everything you said, Kevin, all those problems I posted on social came up within the first 10 minutes. There was like a restaurant competition, like we need to save the theater, like 2 pieces of the village are missing. Should I go to France or not go to France? Like all like within, and then I was like, wait, who's dead? And it like I literally was like kind of Googling and rewinding and being like, oh my god, Kevin Nealon is dead, everybody.
Yes.
And that's when I was like, I think I stood up maybe and like applauded the television at that point.
But wait, okay, so we know that Uncle Dave was dead, and now I know who Uncle Dave was to all of these people.
Yes.
But
Their uncle.
was the woman's what are the sisters' names? Jennifer. Was Jennifer's husband dead?
Yes.
Okay, and then was Eric's wife dead?
Yes.
And then,
Go ahead. Yeah. A lot of death in this one, yes.
and then was the other sister's somebody dead?
No, she was not married. She is the jet setter who never had time to settle down with a
So
person
she
who
was,
eventually
because there was a
died.
moment where the mother said, well, it's good that you're here and she's there because you're doing this and she's able to grieve. So I was like,
Okay, so she was incredibly close with Uncle Dave, and the two of them were going to France together. So that was...
I missed that. I missed that in all of...
Yeah.
Kevin
Well,
Flynn,
so this is the movie where Randy, again, he was doing double duty. Really, he came over to edit this one, and the problem with this movie was all of the information that you're getting. There is another movie that's coming out on Sunday that is both happening concurrently and a sequel to this. So there will be gaps that are filled in, I know, because all that restaurant stuff that we're talking about was mentioned one time briefly in the top of this movie and never really mentioned again, other than when Meg, Ashley Williams, shows up and she's like, our chef quit. And us as the audience is like, I don't give a crap. What do you? This has nothing to do with.
And that was the bummer. The bummer of this creative idea.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea in theory. I think it's a cool concept for Hallmark because they're already known for like just pumping out the films. I don't know if they did the best job of teasing the next one without like it having to be like, oh, I have to see this before I like see this one. I hope next week the payoff is going to be seeing the same conversations from like the different angle. You know what I mean? And seeing like what was going on in the background. I wish they saved a little bit more of them getting together until next week. I know you have to like complete a movie, but if you're going to do this wacky thing where you're showing like two different sisters in two different areas having like a similar Hallmark movie experience, I think they could have saved a little bit more and like saved that scene of like, you know, saving the Madison. Anyway, I liked the concept. I liked a lot of the fun of it. I'm interested to watch next week. I think next week might be more annoying for whatever reason. It's going to be like restaurant hijinks week.
I don't know. I like, again, Ashley Williams is solid. I would be surprised if next week. But at the same time, this could have been fixed if they just did them back to back. I don't know why.
They should have just done it in the same night. Like that would I would have stuck around for that.
Yeah, and during Thanksgiving weekend, they were doing the 6 o'clock movie and the 8 o'clock movie.
Right, just do it then. That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will say, thank goodness, they did say sister swap in the movie. So it would have been a huge letdown if that wasn't a line in the movie because they played that up hardcore.
I'm hoping we see it in the next one too, Chris, and then we'll all cheer. Yeah.
Well, I think they'll show that same scene. But here's the thing. Did anyone else notice that, like, when you walked in the movie theater, there was that room that they eventually went into?
Yeah.
Did anyone notice that room was labeled as the crying room?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's for kids to go when they're crying in a movie and you don't have to leave the theater completely.
Usually they would be able to like, there would be a glass like, or a, plexiglass thing so you could still see the movie, but the layout was a little bit weird. That
was a whole other room that they didn't have the key to, and they really didn't. That was mentioned so briefly, so when they finally get the key and they open it and they have Uncle Dave's digital projector, which essentially saves this theater.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, this theater is pretty much going downhill, and that, why they didn't just bust that door, but whatever, that was...
So that's the thing I should have known, that the room called the crying room is for that, is for kids.
Or it's where they show the crying game exclusively.
Well, that's why I was like, is this a movie theater bit? Where I was like, is this where the sad movies are kept? Like, I didn't know.
It's kind of like to be honest, it's sort of a religious thing. Like it's a church synagogue thing. I've never seen it in a movie theater.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's more of like a live venue type thing.
Yeah. The crying room for a movie theater in the theaters I've been in is the theater. And if you're a good parent, it's go home. I have a kid. I did not bring my crying kid to a movie.
Yeah.
The other thing that was really annoying about this, and I liked Mark Declan's character, but I hated the fact that he is on the Preservation Society, and the entire time he is trying to basically get this big corporation to come in and completely not preserve this movie theater, and it drove me crazy when he would be like, I don't know if you should be showing this movie. I mean, we have this buyer, and it might affect the sale, and it's like, dude, what the freaking hell?
Well, sure, but he said 9,000 times he wouldn't let them change the of the.
It's like part of the terms, yeah.
For the contract, he didn't go. We couldn't help. It's going to change, and then ultimately, his mom's like, "No, we're not selling." So.
Kudos to the like theater rep actor. He was just like, he was like, I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid. That was his acting choice.
I did like that these two characters kissed very early.
Yes.
Because there we go.
Look at that smooth. It was they made out. They didn't kiss. They made
Kristin,
out.
spicy?
It was spicy.
Yeah, it was pretty
No,
spicy.
I give that 3 habaneros.
Yeah.
It was a good lead up. It was a good like set of lines leading into a kiss. I also thought Eight Nights of Hanukkah also had a great kiss at the end.
Good kiss. Good kiss. I don't want to be awkward, but I think I saw tongue in this kiss. No joke. No joke. And that's a big deal for Hallmark.
Let's zoom back in for the.
So it was funny too because then his daughter comes in. She's real little, and at that point, Kimberly Paisley she leaves, and the little girl sits on her dad's lap and it's like, "Give the man a minute. Give him a minute. All right, bring the picture of Henry back with the wood. Just give him a minute."
We're at 6 habaneros now.
Henry
6
Wood
habaneros.
picture. Henry Wood.
The moment he stood up and then sat back down and his daughter sat. Oh my God! I was like,
Listen, I'm going to give this movie an okay with the ability to recall that next week. But for right now, I'm going to give it an okay. I'm okay with this film.
I'll give it an okay.
I'm excited / nervous about part 2 because it's either gonna like make the movie for me or
I agree.
What a waste of time. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think it could.
Yeah, it could have been one movie.
Yeah. I think they should have flashed to the other side a little bit more.
Yes.
To keep you interested. And Kevin, to your point from before, really quick, the cut twos of next week, they kept replaying similar scenes and similar cuts. It was super confusing. Super confusing. Yeah, super confusing.
I will say. Again, if I was Randy, I would have. It would have been better if this was like part 1 and we saw equal parts of both situations.
I agree with that.
And then next week is part 2, and we saw the conclusion of both.
Correct.
That like wrapped up together, cute.
100%.
But no, we saw a whole movie, which now I feel is done.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna watch a whole nother movie, and
we already kind of know what happened.
Yeah, exactly. The climax can't be terrible. Like, she can't die. We know she can't die.
Right.
She's in the end of this.
Guys, it's like the Star Wars prequels. We're just building up to Darth Vader. Darth Vader is the food truck guy that gets hired to be the chef.
Oh, I would be fine with that. Real fast, let's talk about the actor Jim Burns. Not to be confused with Jim Burns that Kristin and I are friends with. No. This is this gentleman here. I wanted to talk about him real fast because we talk about inclusivity and hiring actors. This man has a body of work. I think he has 131 credits on IMDb. Wow. The man has been working forever. He does a lot of voice work as well, but he does on camera. He lost his legs in an automobile accident in 1972 and has been incredibly working incredibly through all of it since. And this is important because they do show him in a wheelchair here, which is great, but he's been in other films where he is just in the film and they don't there really was nothing in this film where they ever really did anything the fact that man is in a wheelchair, other than his wife put the coffee mugs on his tray and he wheeled them out, which was fantastic. That said, I just want to applaud Hallmark.
Well done.
He's been saying it for a long time. Hire the actors to play those parts, and obviously they have here. So
I think there was a nice job of diversity as best they could throughout this weekend. Sometimes it felt a little cliche, like, oh, we're going to put this person in this role, but at least they're doing at least they're casting more than just a bunch of rich.
And then again to go back to the interview that Chris and I did with Keith Powell a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
This is great on camera, and now it's important to do it behind the camera. With all of the crew, let's see, hair and makeup, let's see, just a large portion of diversity on both ends of the camera. So
totally.
That said, what a weird transition this shall be to talk about objectifying some dudes.
It's time, everybody, to celebrate Hallmark Holiday Hunts. Objectification H3.
It's so dreamy.
I think that's why they brought me on.
Well, you make everything better, but man, that is a grand slam. Like every time, live, done live in the studio.
Live. No, I do not practice.
Yeah. Awesome. So let's take it all the way back. We're going to talk about Jake Epstein, who played Daniel in 8 Gifts of Hanukkah. This will be the abridged version because we don't want this episode to run too long. Chris, you usually have me go first. Is that
yeah? Go.
Good looking dude. Funny. Liked him. Great sense of humor. Getting a little tired of the guys who have been around but haven't had the chutzpah, if you will, to step up to the ladies and say, Madame,
I like you.
Yeah, who says Madame? But I like this dude. I'm gonna go ahead and give him a 7, a point.
Ooh.
Oh no! In honor of the 8 nights, I'm gonna give him an 8.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Michael?
I agree with you, Kevin, that he took way too long to get to it. He should have just told her way earlier. He was hoping she would notice. She didn't. Whatever. But I think he nailed the landing. I think he crushed the ending. So in honor of Hanukkah, I will also give him an 8, but higher than you, 8.5.
Wow. Now I like this guy. And the thing that I even like even more is when I Google him, don't worry about it. I found out that he played Spider-Man on like a musical of Spider-Man up in Canada.
Awesome.
So I
Jake, if you're watching, not Jake, but this actor, definitely send us a clip of that.
I think I'm getting the actors right that because I Google all the boys, but I'm pretty sure he did. So I'm giving him an 8 as well because he played Spider-Man.
Nice.
So
can I tell you that Jim Burns, who we just talked about a minute ago, did a lot of voice work, and he plays Nick Fury in various cartoons. So yeah, it's,
hey everybody, check out Remark. Watches Hawkeye this week, Wednesday, for a Friday drop. All right, next person.
All right, so our next film, we had a very Brady Christmas. That's not what it's called. That's what I've wanted to say the whole time. A very merry bridesmaid, and we are talking about Casey Dietrich here. Casey Dietrich. Chris, why don't you go first?
Yeah, I can tell.
I'm giving him a 9. No, I'm giving him an 8.7. 8.7.
Wow.
Because here's something interesting. No, I'm gonna give him a 9. I'm torn. 8.9. 8.9.
Okay.
His character was amazing. I loved his character.
Yeah.
And that beard and his beanie. Okay, carry on. 8.9.
Kristen, you Google this guy because when I went to find this picture, very few pictures of him had shirts on. Just saying.
That's not a problem.
Fun fact, he actually played Dr. Octopus in a West End version. No, he didn't do anything Marvel or Spider-Man related. His beard is on point. It is natural. It's not that like too like clean cut beard. He had a very like hello, like, you know, let me talk to you like this voice. Like, I want to tell you something serious. The voice did it for me. He's a little higher than the previous guy, so I'm going to give him an 8.7. 8.7 as well.
Hey!
Listen, I like this guy an awful lot. I like the fact that, again, I know I just talked about Jake Epstein and, like, tell the girl you love her. This guy also had feelings, but, you know, she was in a relationship, he was in a relationship there. It just kind of feels like their ships never really crossed. And then when they could, he took care of her for her birthday. Obviously, he had feelings for her. He did not need Bubby Rose's ring to tell her his feelings. He did need his Nana's house, though, right next door, proximity. So I'm going to go ahead, Kristen, and I'm not going to yammer. I'm going to give him a 9.
Wow!
He gets it.
All right, here we go. Next up.
All right, next up we had Our Christmas Journey with Lyric Bent. This dude...
I already know where Kevin's going with this. Yeah.
You want me to start? Or
Mike, let's give it a round robin.
This gentleman, can I just like give him points for his out? He's pulling off that shirt. Not many people can pull off the t-shirt with the jacket look, but he does. He looks great with the Christmas behind him. I'm gonna keep going up. I'm gonna keep scoring up here, and I'm not ready to go 9 yet. I gave an 8.7 before. I'm giving 8.8 right here. 8.8. Yeah. Was very attentive.
I
Was very attentive the whole movie as well. That's all.
I don't want y'all to like hate on me.
It's okay.
But like,
It's okay.
I love this guy, but he didn't get my motors running.
Yeah.
So don't forget, I rate like how many motors start running, and like if
you're an awful person, we get it.
I know, but I'm gonna give him a 7.7.
All right.
So I think it's solid.
He had one of the greatest laughs I've ever seen in a Hallmark actor. Every time he would laugh, I loved it. Clearly loves his kids. You know, it was great because, again, a lot of times when you have the distant parent that comes in, it's like it's very fractured relationships. They did not do that, and I'm glad they didn't waste time on it. I loved that his mother-in-law or ex-mother-in-law seemed to throw gasoline on the fire nonstop. As soon as he showed up, she said, I forget what her name was, like, how's Alex? And it was just like, and Holly Robinson Peete gives that look of like, how dare you? But this dude, his smile was great. He had great timing. I love that he did not leave when his job's like, you got to leave, and he was going to leave, and he's at the airport. And even before he got the call that his son had just gotten a scratch, I don't think he was going to leave. Like, I think he had saw that family. He's like, nah, screw that. I don't care. I don't need this job. And ultimately, he leaves that job and takes another one. Love him. This man, I'm going to give him a 9.1. Because I went a little bit higher.
I thought you were going to give out a 10. I really thought you were going to
tough, man. And finally, we have Mark Eklund here. Declan. I'm going to start off. I'm going to give this guy pretty high, only because when we first see him, he goes up to Uncle Dave. Dead Uncle Dave alert, if I could.
Sorry, dead Uncle Dave.
All right. He goes up to Uncle Dave's piano and does a little tinkling on the ivories. And when he did it, I was like, oh my God, because I watched all of the Beatles that was on Disney Plus, like so many others.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, that sounds just like Martha, My Dear. And we just started our Twitter for Remark because Mike said we should be live tweeting some of these.
Duh.
And I was like, I'm just going to tweet at this guy. And I said, hey, was that Martha, My Dear? And he responded.
Kevin and Kristen, you're not going to see it, but the audience is seeing it right now, so go for it.
I'm letting the audience read it, yeah. So, I was behind. I was catching up. But, yeah. And he said I have a good ear. Only one of them. Was he talking about my actual ear? Yeah, the other one. I get it. It's fine. Not a fan of the film he did last year with, I believe it was Ashley Williams he did it with. If I'm not mistaken, I might be. I'm going to give him a 7. I am wrong? Okay, whatever. I'm still giving him a 7.
I think you're wrong. He was in the one with like the really dark-haired, exotic-looking woman.
Yeah, it was the photography one, right?
Yeah.
The kids get married. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. 7 for Mark Eklund.
Yeah, I'm giving. Okay, I like this character. I also. Oh, thank you. Hey, you're just mixing.
I see where you're going. I'm trying to let you compare. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say I do like his sort of beard, but he doesn't get my motor running too much. So I'm gonna give him a 6.8.
Okay.
7. Just make it a 7. I like it.
Oh, 7s. Mike, can we get 777s?
Yes.
Byron,
777. No. I'm on a roll. This might be because it's the first time I've ever done this, and I'm just going off of the last person I've seen on my screen. I'm not ready to give a 9 yet. I thought this gentleman was very adorable with the kids, both his daughter and then like the son of the girl. I thought like he was just from a Hallmark movies perspective. Can I judge him on that? He was just like all in and super sweet and very smiley, and there was nothing in his mind other than her the entire movie. So from someone who's is a virgin to Hallmark movies, he seemed like the quintessential Hallmark beau. Even though this movie wasn't my favorite, he's my favorite. 8.9.
Wow.
And it's important to note, he does not get the girl at the end of what we saw because he wasn't ready. So let's see what happens in the next movie.
Yeah, they kind of kiss and save the theater, but we'll see what happens. Yeah,
they got together, you ding dong.
They're not together. I think they won't get together because he said I'm not ready. So we'll see what happens.
He said he's ready. What movie did you watch?
I don't know. I kind of drifted off at the end there. That was this week. Let's talk about next week, Friday, December 10th. We have A Dickens of a Holiday. Then on Saturday, December 11th, we have a Royal Queen's Christmas. Yes, we got a royalty one.
I don't want to.
Yeah, it's happening. And then on Saturday night at 10 o'clock, we're going to have to get that sound effect because we have our Godwink Miracle of Love
Wink.
followed up with Sunday night, the sequel that we've all been clamoring for, Sister Swap Christmas in the City.
I had a pretty good week. Yeah, I don't even know. I had a pretty good week this week, I feel like, in terms of like quality of films, and I'm looking at next week's lineup and feeling like that's what I'm expecting is the garbage might be coming. Not garbage, but the cheese might be coming. The cheese might be coming.
I will say, if I could just, I'm going to speak about every time a bell rings that they snuck in on us.
Yeah.
This is a fifth one that none of these boys didn't watch it. I watched 49% of this movie. Wes Brown is in it with these three lovely sisters. There's adoption. There's a rotary phone, and the dad. I think that the scavenger hunt. My predictions, because I didn't finish watching it. Yeah. My prediction is that the dad is still alive, and he's at the end of the scavenger hunt.
He's hiding, so we don't have a dead dad alert on that. That's why they were like, we can't air it. We need all dead this weekend.
That sounds like a mystery. That sounds like a mystery.
Yeah. that film is part of their Mistletoe movies, which is their streaming service. And I guess it did well enough. They decided, let's put it on Movies and Mysteries. So there you have it. That said, you can go back and watch a movie that is not in the lineup this year, which is called Crashing Through the Snow, that Kristin and I did review in July when they released it. It doesn't look like it's got a kind of premiere in this lineup, but that's out there. And we have plenty of other episodes you can go and check out. You can check out Remark. Email us at remarktheshow@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at remarktheshow or on Twitter at remarkshow. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't have plans on Sunday night, so I will be live tweeting our Sister Swap movie.
I do have very exciting news to report. If you are going to Christmas Con in Edison, New Jersey on Saturday, I will be there in my Remark gear, hopefully interviewing some fans about how much and why they love Hallmark.
Nice.
Also, NBD, but someone's got a photo op with Andrew Walker and Tyler Hines. Yow! So if I'm dead next week, you know where to find me, on the floors of some convention center in Jersey.
I can't wait till you get there and they say, I'm sorry, everyone is canceled except here's Ryan Pavey. Mike, what can we plug for you while we get out of here, sir?
Oh, Comedy Sports New York, which we all know and love, and is doing our holiday shows this week. I'm also doing a Christmas Carol, the original Dickens live play. We're doing it while drinking for the Drunk Tex. That's happening this weekend. Kevin's been in a Drunk Tex before in Philly. And yeah, follow me at Mike G Does Things. I do all kinds of fun things.
Excellent.
Kristen Finger.
As always, Comedy Sports Philadelphia. We've got a Christmastown, PA, opens this coming weekend. Please check that out. There's puppets. It's a musical. It's delightful and for all ages. And yeah, if you want something to do on New Year's Eve, we also got 2 shows happening on New Year's Eve at Comedy Sports Philly. I'm at Chris and Katz.
Yeah, that's right, Chris and Katz. And for me, go watch some of these old episodes. It's always weird to us that people will comment on stuff that we've done a year or two ago. And of course, watch Hallmark. Hawkeye. There's so much. Remark, we will talk about Hawkeye. Those episodes drop every Friday. This episode, you're probably watching on whatever day it dropped, I guess. I don't know what day it's happening, but check out Hawkeye, check out all the Remark, and we will see you next week.
Bye!
It's been a long, exhausting day. Your troubles just won't go away. One thing that gets you through these is watching cheesy holiday movies. You think that you're above them, but you should know that you love them. So get ready to listen. Now here comes Kevin and Kristen. Oh yeah.
And Mike.
It's the scene after the credits. Bye, everybody.